Flowers are naturally occurring mandalas, and so there is what is essential about the flower. Yes, there is the external beauty, but the real meaning of beauty is there is an inner essence there. But you cannot sense that when you are looking at the flower through the screen of conceptualization. So you have to drop the screen of conceptualization, which is thought, and look at the flower and give it a little bit of time. And then you begin to sense something, but where do you sense that? You sense it in yourself. What is it that you sense in yourself when you look at the flower? It's both in the flower and in you. It is the essence, the animating consciousness behind this manifestation of this beautiful manifestation of form. There is, beyond the form, there is, we could call it the animating spirit. And that is the same animating spirit which is consciousness that is in you. When you have access to it in yourself, you can sense it there, but giving complete attention, for example, to a flower can be very helpful in deepening the access you have to it in yourself. So the flower can teach you stillness, because the flower is very still, and teach you other things, that because stillness is only one particular signpost that we use to speak of it. So you sense the essence of the flower, which is sacred, and you can sense the essence of yourself, which is sacred, and you can somehow sense that the essence of the flower and the essence of yourself are one and the same. And that is the recognition of oneness, which is all the ancient mystics and so on have spoken about this. And that is just what you love it. Basically, that means that is what love is. You recognize yourself in the other. It doesn't have to be another human being. Or it's beautiful when you recognize yourself in another human being. But you also recognize yourself in nature. So this is important, because that brings, so allow nature to teach you stillness. Now nature, of course, embodies a completely different degree of consciousness from yours. I will now make a mystical statement. You don't have to believe it. The flower loves it when you give it attention, because you add something enormous to the flower by giving it attention. The flower is not aware of its own beauty, it just is. And when you unite your consciousness with the flower, through you, because there's ultimately, you're not, the separateness that we see in the physical is not really there. Through you, the flower gets a glimpse of self-recognition. The flower recognizes itself. So when nature is waiting for you to recognize it, and what nature alone is also involved in, it is part of the evolving universe that is becoming more conscious. And humans are an essential part of that on this planet. So when a human becomes conscious of nature, the nature through the human becomes conscious of itself, and it's an amazing process. Whether or not this is true, you have to kind of find out for yourself by being more attentive in nature and honoring what's there, and as much as possible relate to nature without the screen of knowledge. when you need it, it's fine. If a child asks you, what's the name of this flower? You tell the child what the name is, but hopefully you don't say, this is a rose. Hopefully you say to the child, it's called a rose. There's a very big difference between saying, this is a rose, because that would be saying to the child that this concept is what it is, that the sound rose is that. No, it's only a name. The name of it is rose. And so to prevent the child from getting lost in concepts at an early age, always, once you've taught a word, always bring the child back to the actual experience of it, so that the child does not come to the misperception that the name of the flower is the flower. There's a depth to the flower that gets totally covered up when you mistake the name for the flower. So that's why when you truly want to see it, you have to remove the mental label, and you can only do that by being present. The alertness rises, and then you communicate, you relate to the flower without the screen of concepts. So this was something to do with presence, this part of the answer, although I went some distance away from the answer of anger arising and catching it. So it's vital to generate presence in normal life, in nature, and so on, so that it's there when the pain body arises.